Hello, my ADHD women. Welcome to episode 27, but this is episode 2 of our summer mini series. And if you're new here, I'm Kristin. I'm a therapist, researcher, and late diagnosed woman with ADHD, just like you. And this summer series is all about the intersection of ADHD, social connection, and the silent stories we carry. In the last episode, I share why I chose this research topic and invited you behind the scenes of my dissertation study. Today, I want to talk about something that still frustrates me and probably frustrates you too. How much we continue to miss when it comes to diagnosing ADHD women. So grab that comfy drink. Let's go. If you're like me and probably a majority of late diagnosed ADHD women, I want to tell you why I wasn't diagnosed as early as some individuals were. I was that straight A student. I didn't look ADHD. I didn't get in trouble in school. I did forget my homework. Well, I didn't forget to do my homework. I just forgot to turn it in. I wasn't hyperactive. I wasn't moving around the classroom everywhere. I wasn't loud. In fact, I was quiet. I was really helpful. I was really passive. I was anxious. And for a long time, that looked like success. I learned how to manage that. I understood social cues. I understood what was expected of me going into these social situations. And guess what? I learned how to mask. But it was masking. I was so afraid of messing up that I overcompensated. I created elaborate systems just to get through the day, and I internalized every struggle as a personal flaw. I remember asking, why wasn't I like everybody else? And no one ever asked if I was struggling. I looked like I had it together. Why would anyone worry about me? And when I did struggle, socially, emotionally, or even physically from exhaustion, I was told I was too sensitive, too overwhelmed, or just tired or fatigued, or you'll get over it, or lazy. So many of us don't get diagnosed until we hit a breaking point. And I'll be honest, mine was postpartum, after I had my first baby, or after grad school. I'm probably going to break down there too. A new job, or a trauma. And that unravels all of our coping mechanisms. It unravels all of these elaborate systems that we created from a small child to get through all of these transitional states of our life. And when we So let's look at why this happens. One, we have kind of this male-centric ADHD model that we live by. And ADHD was, and really still is, studied primarily in white elementary-aged boys. We're focused on hyperactivity, the impulsivity, and kind of these classroom disruptions. And they kind of became the hallmarks of what ADHD diagnosis was. And we apply this childlike, male-centric ADHD DSM to later diagnosed adults, and it doesn't fit, especially for women and girls. Girls with ADHD often show symptoms of inattentiveness. They daydream, they struggle with working memory, and they become these kind of perfectionists, and they do it to survive. According to these recent studies, girls are less likely to be referred for an ADHD assessment, and they're more likely to be diagnosed with anxiety or depression first. And when they are diagnosed, it's often years later, after significant emotional or relational damage has already occurred, when it could have just been explained by ADHD. The core of the issue, the system doesn't know how to read our symptoms because they're internal, they're quiet, and they're socially shaped because we mask in order to get through. When I finally had ADHD applied to what was going on with me, I felt this sense of relief. There was some grief that comes along when you finally do get diagnosed, but it's not just relief, it's kind of a reckoning. You start to look back and wonder how much of my shame wasn't even mine to carry. And that breakup where you felt too much, the friendship that ended because you were inconsistent or forgot to reply, the career path you avoided because you thought you weren't disciplined enough. ADHD may not have been the whole story, but it was in the story. And not knowing that changes how we talk to ourselves. That's why this conversation matters. That's why this research matters. We need to start looking at the wholeness and the internal symptoms that are going on for women that are not being displayed in the DSM diagnosis. And we have to take years and years of crying out, why are we different? Why aren't we socially connecting? Why do I feel lonely around all these people, to actually be finally seen? So if you're a woman with ADHD and any of this episode resonated with your story, and you're a woman between 18 and 40 who experiences ADHD symptoms, I would be honored and would be great if your voice was heard. And I want you to participate in my study. Your experience matters, and this is one way to actually make it visible. Let's fill in this research gap with our voice. If you're interested in taking the study, the link will be in the show notes. And if you're still with me, thank you for joining us. In the next episode, we're going to dig into social disconnection and what it looks like, how it feels, and why so many women with ADHD experience it, even when they're surrounded by people. If today stirred something in you, I hope you let yourself grieve what wasn't seen and also celebrate what you now understand about you. Because the more we name it, the less alone we feel. Thanks for joining me.